Before going to school, the main character Asahi watches a prediction show. According to the fortune teller, today is Asahi's lucky day, and he will get lucky from 5 lucky items. From the moment Asahi leaves, the prophecy comes true. He runs into a pretty girl AI. Their closeness makes AI a little embarrassed, and she runs away in a hurry. At this point, Asahi discovers that she has left something and picks it up, thinking that he will return it the next time he meets her. After that, in an empty tram, Asahi meets the beautiful Monfa. Her overly strange behavior scares Asahi, and he struggles to break free. However, he accidentally touches her body, which makes her mistake him for a pervert and teaches him a lesson. At this time, the tram pulls up to the stop, and Asahi quickly runs away. When he is about to leave the tram stop, he meets another girl named Karin on the landing. She jumps on Asahi, and they fall to the ground. The banana he carries with him causes a misunderstanding, and he is beaten up again. Later, Asahi encounters other incidents one after another, but none of them can be called lucky. At first, he was mistaken by a girl named Amelia Irving, underwear, and then he was attacked by a dog. Because of a girl or a guy named Ilya. When he finally wakes up, he's late for school. Sneaking into the classroom, Asahi is surprised to find that Monfa, the new teacher of his class. At the same time, he sees 4 new students in the class, who turn out to be the girls he just met. Knowing that what happened in the morning is ridiculous, Asahi tries to make such a face that no one will recognize him. However, it doesn't work. Then a frustrated Asahi receives an anonymous letter asking to meet after school. He is curious about who wrote the letter. At that moment, he meets AI around the corner again. AI shyly asks him if he picked up anything. He wants to give her things, but accidentally pulls out Amelia's underwear. AI thinks he's a pervert and slaps him. Asahi, who has been misunderstood all this time, goes to get food feeling confused. He finds out that Karin, the yellow-haired girl he met in the morning, didn't get her lunch and offers her banana. Karin remembers their meeting in the morning and realizes that she was wrong about Asahi. After that, Karin awkwardly thanks him. Since then, misunderstandings between Asahi and his classmates have been cleared up one by one, except for AI. Thinking about the anonymous letter, he decides to go to the designated place, only to find out that AI wrote the letter. Here she wants to confess her love to Asahi. At this moment, a gust of wind blows up Ai's skirt, and Asahi realizes that she is not wearing underwear. She continues to express her love for Asaya. But all this happens so suddenly that Asaya needs time to think about everything. At this moment, she finally realizes that she is without underwear and runs away. After AI leaves, Ilya and Monfa separately find Asahi and also confess to him. Monfa boldly kisses Asahi, which scares him and makes him run away. But it doesn't end there. The next second, Karin stops Asahi in a wedding dress and wants to become his bride. She takes Asahi to the hotel, but Asahi is against it. He deceives Karin by saying that he wants to kiss her and asks her to close her eyes, and then runs away. Suddenly, a masked girl appears on the side of the road and asks Asahi to help fill out the questionnaire. Asahi sees that the questionnaire is actually a marriage application. Seeing that the plan is revealed, the girl takes off her mask, and it's Amelia, who also wants to marry Asahi. Asahi thinks to go home and calm down a little after all these events, but when he opens the door, 5 girls who molested him appear in his house. They play an audio recording belonging to his father, who says that all these people are wedding candidates chosen by his father for Asahi. They came from all over the world and will temporarily live in Asahi's house. Asahi can live with them for a while and choose a bride. There is also Ilya, and he is a boy. After that, Asahi discovers that his house has been expanded, and there is enough space for everyone. Then 5 people prepare a nice dinner for Asahi and want to feed him. When he's about to take a shower, Karin wants to go with him, but he throws out. Amelia is already in the bath waiting for Asahi. But Asahi sees her disguise. Asahi tries to have a good rest after a bath, but discovers that Monfa is hiding in the ceiling. He is furious about this and calls everyone together to talk about what they are doing. Asahi can't do anything with these homeless people except leave them at home alone. Ai catches up with Asahi and tells him that the reason they all want to be with him is because he is a person who can change their destinies. Ai apologizes to Asahi and begs him to come home. Asahi gets better and he agrees to come home with a smile on his face. Ai can't hold back the tears when she sees the smile on Asahi's face. It reminds her of something. Asahi panicked, thinking he made Ai cry. Ai doesn't talk too much, but returns home with Asahi. When Asahi first wakes up, he finds Amelia in his bed. She wants to stamp the marriage application with his toe, and it seems that Amelia really tried all the ways to marry Asahi. Compared to Amelia, who idles around and masterfully prepares breakfast for everyone early in the morning. In this family, she is more like the mistress of the house, always carefully organizing everyone's daily routine. Ai writes everyone's names on their breakfasts. Amelia takes Asahi's breakfast and insists on writing his name. Amelia is a foreign student from the United States. She rarely practices kanji writing, so her writing isn't that good. In the classroom, the teacher asks the students to take turns writing kanji. Karin, a German student, does a great job, and Amelia is the only one who makes a typo. To make matters worse, the teacher assumes there will be a kanji test next week. Before solving this problem, Amelia wants to have lunch with Asahi to get closer. But Asahi has already escaped to the roof with his friend Yosh, and he doesn't want his precious lunch break to be ruined by girls. Yosha is the only one in the class who knows about Asahi's life. He doesn't understand why Asahi avoids these cute girls, and enviously says that Asahi can eat Ai's fine food. While he eats cold sandwiches, Asahi notices that the food Ai has prepared is his favorite food. But the problem is that he never said what kind of food he liked. Soon, something else attracts his attention. At night, Amelia hides in her room and refuses to come out. He approaches the door of Amelia's room out of concern, and hears a series of seductive voices coming from the room. After listening carefully, he realizes that she is reading something strange. Asahi pushes open the door and interrupts Amelia's reading, only to find out that Amelia just wants to get a good grade on the exam next week. She also wants to learn the language she speaks about Saha as soon as possible. Asahi is touched by this and brings Amelia to the library to patiently teach her kanji. Amelia has read too many bad books before, so she can often write some unusual ones. She does her best to achieve her goals, spending all her free time studying kanji in the library or in her room. While studying in the library, Asahi tells her that it's okay not to study so hard. Amelia feels hurt when she hears this. She cries and says it would be pointless if she didn't work so hard on it. She wants so badly to learn the language she speaks about Saha that she runs home and hides in her room without even having lunch. Asahi enters Amelia's room and tries to comfort her. Amelia reveals her thoughts while crying. She knows that Asahi sympathizes with her, but she wants to pass the exam well and does not want to be pitied. She also hates being in such conflict with herself. Asahi stops her self-deprecation by saying that he appreciates Amelia's efforts. After saying these words, Asahi soothingly pats Amelia on the head. He pulls out a mini book full of hints that he wrote down for Amelia. What Asahi is doing touches Amelia, and she finally laughs again. At this time, others hide behind the door to eavesdrop. As soon as Asahi opens the door, they all fall to the ground. They are concerned that Asahi is very supportive of Amelia. Over the next few days, Amelia doubles down on her classes. She hung kanji all over the house to help her master them. Her hard work is finally paying off. In the next exams, Amelia's grades improve significantly. She says that she still has a lot to improve her grades, but in fact, she is very happy with the result. At this moment, Asahi looks at the food cooked by Amelia, where his name is written in ketchup, and he smiles. The connection to Amelia changed after that. Asahi's life temporarily returns to normal. Until the girls win a group trip to the hot springs in a street draw, they excitedly take Asahi to a hot springs hotel. The only one who is worried about the trip is Ilya, who is actually a girl. The reason she disguises herself as a boy is because her father asks her to live as a boy before he dies. Then they stay in a hotel with hot springs. The first problem Ilya faces is the distribution of rooms. All girls want to live with Asahi. In the end, he decides that he and Ilya will live in the same room. When Asahi is separated from the girls, he clearly relaxes a lot. He often teases Ilya like a real gotchi man. Ilya is shy, but she has to put up with it, because she knows that this is a normal way to get along between gotchi men. The girls want to play table tennis and ask Ilya and Asahi to be the judges. They all play well, among a plays the best. Soon after, she ends the game with a punch that rips off Karin's clothes and injures Asahi. Later, they plan to go to the hot springs. According to the procedure, everyone should clean up before visiting the hot spring. And Sak is the first to undress in the locker room. Ilya is too afraid to expose himself. At this time, she notices Tengu's mask on the side, and an idea comes to her. She hides a Tengu mask in a bath towel to look like a man. And Saki offers to wash her back. In the process, he discovers that Ilya's skin is smooth, and there is no hair on his body. When he talks about his doubts, Ilya changes the subject and offers to rub his back. She touches Asahi behind her back, and her heart is pounding wildly. To relieve tension, Ilya takes Asahi to the sauna. Ilya soon can't stand the heat of the sauna, and she hears Asahi say that the ability to withstand the heat. This is the symbol of Gachimina. Worried that she will reveal her true gender, she decides to stick with it. After a while, Asahi can't stand the heat and throws himself into an indoor hot spring. Ilya takes the opportunity to go to the hot spring in the open air. As a result, the bath towel is blown away by the wind. After a moment, Asahi approaches to check on Ilya, which leads Ilya into a complete panic. She quickly puts on a Tengu mask. Meanwhile, the girls climb the wall to evaluate Asahi's figure. They and Asahi see an amazing scene. Tengu loudly declares that this is her territory, shocking the girls. Then they fall to the ground, and Asahi runs away in fear to the indoor hot spring. Ilya does not miss the opportunity to put on a towel. Just when she thinks everything is going well, she suddenly slips and loses consciousness. When Ilya wakes up on the bed, she sees Asahi next to her. Realizing that her identity has been revealed, Asahi apologizes for her previous abusive behavior, and Ilya quickly says that it was her disguise that caused the misunderstanding. After that, she reveals why she pretends to be a boy. Asahi gently hugs her to comfort her, encouraging her to be herself. The temperature of his body warms Ilya, and after a moment, a little boy very similar to Asahi appears in her head, which seems to be connected with her memories. Later, the girls excitedly tell about Saka and Ilya that they saw Tengu in the hot springs yesterday. Ilya blushes instantly, and Asaha smiles. Monfa is a gentle and friendly teacher at school, for which she is popular among students. In fact, the real Monfa is quite different. She loves to drink so much, and when she gets drunk, she does something crazy. For example, she seduces Asahi in various ways and sticks to other girls. One night, Monfa is hanging around the house again, and Asahi tries his best to calm her down before going back to his room. Seeing a man hiding in his bed, Asahi lifts the blanket, only to see a strong stranger. He takes Asahi to the mansion and sets a trap, luring Mongfu with Asahi as bait. When Monfa learns the news, she quickly rushes to save him, but gets into danger by the ferocious enemies around. Luckily, Monfa is strong enough to single-handedly defeat all the enemies besieging them on this floor. After the fight, Monfa tries to escape with Asahi, but discovers that the only elevator that can go down stops working. After observing, she notices that the elevator control room is on the next floor. So she leads off straight from the front of the building to the control room. When she finally repairs the elevator, Gachimeng appears. He complains about Mongfa's past cruelties. Monfa destroyed a large number of underground societies and killed countless people, including Gachimang's subordinates. After learning the location of Monfa, he decides to take revenge on her. Having said all this, he attacks Mongfu and Asahi. Monfa, concerned about Asahi's safety, cannot fight with all her might, so she can only outwit. During the fight, she ties up Gachimang with a lot of steel wire, and then runs away with Saki. Noticing that Asahi is wounded, Monfa tears off her skirt to bandage his wound. Since childhood, she has been striving to kill everywhere, and gradually got tired of such a life. After becoming a teacher, she feels much happier in her life. To protect her comrades, she is ready for anything. Asahi is confused that Monfa would say such things in such a tense moment, but quickly understands her. They reach the first floor of the building, where there is a large number of enemies with various weapons. Monfa pushes him away with a gun. It seems she wants to sacrifice herself to cover for Asahi. After a hard fight, Monfa defeats all enemies. As soon as she feels relieved and leaves the building, the Gatchimist breaks free and finds her. In order to defeat Mangfu, he turned his entire body into a machine. He attacks Mangfu with all his might, which is why she can't resist at all. Just when Monfa is about to lose, Asahi, who won't abandon his friends and was hiding nearby, throws a fire extinguisher to stop the Gatchimist. Looking at the heroic figure of Asahi, Monfa sees a boy who in her imagination is very similar to Asahi. At this moment, Asahi uses the taser he picked up as a weapon. The strong man tries to grab Asahi and discovers that Asahi's skin is too slippery to be grabbed. It turns out that Asahi found a bottle of lubricant in the building and applied it to his body. He throws the remaining lubricant at the Gatchimist and then attacks him with a stun gun, giving Mangfi a chance, so she can finish the fight with one punch. Although she complains to Asahi that he didn't run away, Monfa is actually very touched and hugs Asahi tightly. After that, they come home tired and lie down on the sofa. The other girls see them lying together and angrily denounce Monfa's monopoly on Saha. Shortly after this incident, Asahi is attacked again by a robot he has never seen before. When Asahi is in danger, a beautiful magical girl appears. She uses magic to destroy the robot and flies away. After that, Asahi excitedly shares that he saw a real sorceress with his good friend Yosh, but Yosh doesn't believe it. While they are talking, Karin comes to invite Asahi per penny. Suddenly, a huge flying car appears outside the window, shocking the students. Then a group of robots appears and attacks them. Asahi rescues Monfa, and Aosha is injured. When everyone is worried about Asahi, Asahi hears Irina say that Karin is missing, so he hurriedly searches everywhere, but discovers that she turns into the magical girl he saw earlier on the roof. The rabbit, who can fly, stays by her side and urges her to act as soon as possible. Karin doesn't have time to explain this to Asahi and asks Asahi to touch her so that she can gain magical power. Although Asahi refuses, Rabbit directly pushes him at Karin. Karin gets energy from this physical contact and immediately takes off into the sky to fight the machine. Unfortunately, Karin quickly runs out of strength and falls into Asahi's arms without strength. After he hid with Karin, Asahi found out what happened. This group of robots in the sky is trying to destroy the world by attacking people, and they have already destroyed the world where the rabbit lived. Later, the rabbit escaped to Earth and accidentally met Karin. Most people don't see the rabbit, but Karin does. In retaliation, Rabbit offered Karin to accept his powers, become a sorceress, and destroy these robots together with him. At that time, Karin thought that being a sorceress was interesting and agreed. But now she finally realized how difficult it is. The most important thing for her now is to destroy the machine, as she sends other robots to attack everywhere. Now Karin is the only one who can save the Earth because the weapons on Earth cannot harm only these robots. Rabbit takes Karin and Asahi to find his car, and says that as long as Karin falls in love with someone she likes, she can get magical energy. The meter in the car shows how much magical energy Karin receives. After saying all this, Rabbit gets out of the car, leaving Asahi and Karin alone. Then Karin starts to undress, thinking that sleeping with Akai is the fastest way to get energy. Asahi quickly stops with curiosity, asking Karin how she used to get her energy. After learning that Karin often gets energy by sniffing his clothes, Asahi decides to try other interactions besides sleeping. Noticing that Karin's energy does not increase at all during physical contact, Asahi thinks that Karin is not in love with him, so even if they sleep together, she will not be able to get energy. Karin thinks Asahi is wrong, and then pushes Asahi by taking off his clothes. At this time, other girls pass by the car. It seems they hear Asahi's cry for help and curiously approach the car, but they don't find anything special. Oddly enough, Ai's eyes lit up red for a moment. Inside the car, Asahi violently resists Karin's actions, saying that he wants Karin to cherish herself. If she regrets sleeping with him because of this incident in the future, he will be sad. Hearing this, Karin is stunned, and Asahi takes the opportunity to open the car door and orders the rabbit to run along with Karin. He then runs out to attract the attention of the robots and cover Karin's retreat. Karin feels love about Saha for her, and she really falls in love with him. At this moment, the meter in the car shows that Karin's magical energy is full. She takes the final form of a sorceress and destroys all the robots besieging Asahi. Immediately after, she goes to attack the car, but the car is so powerful that Karin is about to be defeated. At this moment, Asahi suddenly hugs her, and now Karin gets energy again. She unleashes powerful magic, and finally the machine is destroyed. After that, Karin also uses magic to heal all the injured people in the world. After Karin returns to her original form, Asahi anxiously asks if she is injured. At this moment, a boy similar to Asahi appears in Karin's mind. Seeing Asahi approaching her, she timidly runs away. Meanwhile, a group of mysterious people are plotting. Asahi dreams when he sleeps. In this dream, there is only Asahi and a girl named Ai. When they look at the stars on the beach, Ai says about Sei that she wants to stay with him for the rest of her life. This is where Asai's dream ends. It turns out that Irina will be his because Asahi Yoshi's friend invites them to the beach. When they hurriedly get together and are going to go to the beach, Yoshia gets into an accident, but the others don't seem to be hurt, and no one cares about Yoshia's condition during the whole process, which seems very strange. But then something even stranger happens. After Asahi and the girls change into their swimsuits, they excitedly play on the beach. In order for someone not to monopolize Asahi, the girls decide to tease him and not let him be alone with any of the girls. At this time, they find a sign on the beach that says that swimsuits are prohibited on the beach. The girls do not resist this strange rule because apart from them, there are only Asahi on the beach now, and they are ready to let Asaya admire their figures. After they happily took off their clothes, they continue to tease Asahi. They bury Asahi in the sand, leaving only his head. After that, Monfa is blindfolded and asked to attack a watermelon next to Asahi. Monfa has great power, and fortunately Asahi was not affected by it. In the evening, they decide to go home to rest. Noticing that all the girls suddenly disappear, and Sak thinks that they have secretly returned home, so on the way home, he calls out to them. When he returns home, he sees only Ai. He hurriedly asks about the other girls, but discovers that he can't remember the girls' names at all, and can only remember Ai. As if she didn't hear what Asahi said, Ai asks Asahi to have dinner together. On the table, Asahi subconsciously laments that there are usually a lot of noisy girls around him during meals, and he hasn't enjoyed such a quiet night for a long time, saying that Asahi feels weird. He doesn't know why he keeps mentioning other girls without knowing who they are. Then he expresses his doubts to Ai, but Ai does not answer him, and takes him for a walk in the nearest forest, where he sees a huge tree. Under the tree, Ai gently confesses Asahi's love, but Asahi doesn't want to answer right now. He only wants to know the girls that he mentions and hurriedly asks about them. Ai pushes Asahi to the ground, saying that the most important thing right now is that she and Asahi can be together. Just as Ai is about to kiss Asahi, Asahi suddenly sees other girls in his mind, and he excitedly says their names. Hearing this, Ai is disappointed and turns into a cloud of cherry blossoms. After the cherry blossoms have dispersed, Ai appears in front of Asahi. She says something very strange about Saha, that she wants to be with Asahi forever. And this is a dream that she will never be able to fulfill. In addition, she hopes that Asahi will never return to this place. Having said that, Ai immediately runs away. The next second, Asahi is surrounded by bugs, just like he's stuck in a digital world. When Asahi wakes up again the next morning, he completely forgets what happened the day before. Noticing that the girls are not at home, he decides to go to school, thinking that they also went to school. After Asahi leaves the house, his mom comes out of the other room. When Asahi comes to class, he discovers that he doesn't know a single student. He asks the boy about the girls, but is told that he does not know the girls he is talking about Sei. Besides, they don't know about Sei. And Sai repeatedly confirms that he is in the right class and understands that something is wrong. In a panic, he runs out of the classroom to look for the girls. And then a strange woman appears who calls herself Feynman, further confusing Asahi. After seeing a stunned Asahi, Feynman says that his memory may be a little chaotic and takes Asahi to his laboratory for examination. During the examination, Feynman explains the truth to Asaya. Recently, she conducted a special experiment, the purpose of which was to allow artificial intelligence to feel human emotions and evolve. Not so long ago, she openly recruited volunteers from the newspaper to participate in various experiments. And Asahi was one of them. Asahi had been living in a virtual reality world for several months, and all the girls around him were artificial intelligence, so-called AI. These are girls that researchers around the world have created as a result of long-term experiments, so that they best match the preferences of men. When they first met Asahi, they didn't know what love was, so they behaved erratically. When they got along with Asahi, the girls gradually developed emotions close to love. Strangely, the day they went to the beach with Asahi, the researchers' connection to the virtual reality world was blocked, and Asahi was forcibly sent back to the real world. Not believing Feynman's words, Asahi begins to get angry. After that, some memories come back to him, and he realizes that what Feynman said is true. At this time, the sound of Asahi and Feynman attracts Feynman's colleague and boss. It turns out that the girl was kicked out of the laboratory for a long time because of an unsuccessful experiment. Unhappy that she snuck back into the lab, the boss fired her. Later, Feynman leaves Saki's lab. Then she talks about Saha more about the experiment. 3 years ago, a mysterious doctor created a humanoid AI before his death, which was used in various fields. The girls who used to live with Asahi also descended from the humanoid and created by the doctor. In addition, Feynman is telling an even more amazing truth. In fact, AI was created by a doctor who copied the consciousness of his terminally ill daughter, which makes Asahi stunned. At this moment, Asahi recalls many past events and remembers that the doctor's daughter was his childhood sweetheart. After that, Asahi says goodbye to Feynman and runs to Ai's grave, crying sadly. Feynman is surprised to find that Ai's image is shown on a screen in the center of the city. AI takes control of the network system of the human world, plunging the world into chaos. The Institute's researchers are anxiously looking for a way to prevent AI from continuing to interfere in the human world, but to no avail. At this time, Feynman's colleague thinks that she is the researcher who knows AI best and decides to turn to her for help. A colleague informs Feynman that they have received a message from AI saying, "I want to see you." Feynman assumes that the person AI wants to meet is Asahi. And then she approaches Asaya in the hope that Asahi will return to the virtual world and help AI to return to normal life. Asahi, who has just come from the grave of his childhood sweetheart AI, hesitates when he hears Feynman's proposal. Asahi recalls that when he was still in the Vire world, AI appeared and advised him not to return to the Vire world. For a moment, he doesn't know who to listen to, Feynman or AI. At this moment, the robot clock in Asahi's room gets knocked off and suddenly projects a video clip onto the wall. The video shows the girls who were with Asahi in the Vire world, except AI. It turns out that the girls felt everything that was happening now in advance and secretly hid before AI took control of the entire Vire world so that they would not be affected by AI. Now they meet Asahi through a robot in the hope that Asahi and Feynman will help AI, and they realize that AI is very sad. Asahi looks at the familiar faces of the girls and realizes that although he met them in the virtual world, his feelings for them are real. He is about to respond to the girl's request when the projection suddenly fails. At this moment, Feynman receives a call from her colleague and found out that the director of the institute decided to get rid of everything in the world, because there are many in the world and it will take some time to implement this plan. Asahi hears the conversation on the phone and realizes that he has to stop AI as soon as possible. Otherwise, the girls will completely disappear. Feynman finds out that Asahi has decided to save the girls and immediately takes Asahi to the lab. This laboratory once belonged to Father Ai. After the death of his father, AI Feynman manages to manage the laboratory. She points out that this is where Ai's father created Yi, so his computer is the only access to the virtual reality world. Feynman speeds up the computer to run a program that takes Asahi into the world of virtual reality. She suddenly remembers that AI once said that she craves a relationship. Feynman realizes that Asahi has left the virtual reality world, which is why AI has lost the opportunity to fall in love with him. And for this reason, AI loses control. Feynman is even more confident that only Asahi can prevent AI from losing her mind. Asahi is a little nervous. He knows that this journey into the virtual world can be dangerous and he will not be able to return to reality for the rest of his life. But in order to protect Ah and the other girls, he is willing to do anything under Feynman's guidance. Asahi's consciousness is plunged into darkness. When Asahi opens his eyes, he sees that his alarm clock robot has followed him into the virtual reality world. It turns out that in order to help Asaya in the Vire world, Feynman specially made a robot. She communicates with Asahi through a robot and leads him to the square. Feynman believes that the robot is inconvenient to use and turns it into the appearance of Yosh. Asahi realizes that when he was in the virtual reality world, Feynman was watching him. At this time, a group of robots suddenly appears nearby, forcing Asahi and Yosh to log out of the network. Yosha quickly leads Asahi to her room in this world, where Amelia, Irina, Monfa, and Karin are hiding. At this time, neither Asahi nor Yosha wears any clothes, as a result of which they are attacked by girls, and Saki quickly gets dressed. And Yosha turns into a rabbit, which helped Karin turn into a sorceress. Then Feynman talks to the girls. From their conversations, we learned that the Institute has launched a program that controls all robots in the Vire world. The mission of these robots is to destroy the entire world, displacing everyone from the virtual reality world. Once Asahi is caught, his brain will be severely damaged. Now they need to dodge the robots and find AI. Feynman noticed the changes in this world and discovered that AI had left Asahi a passageway and guessed that they could find AI just by entering this passageway. She immediately connects with Asahi and leads them to the building where Asahi and Monfa fought together. While exploring the buildings, they meet a lot of humanoid robots. Feynman turns all the girls into witches with the help of a rabbit. The girls become very powerful, while the rabbit has no fighting power and is quickly attacked by the enemy. Asahi falls into the hallway with a rabbit to protect him. Asahi looks at the rabbit, remembering that the rabbit brought Karin to him. At this moment, Monfa is the first to notice that Asahi has disappeared and is looking for him around. She overhears a conversation about Saha and Feynman, but now she has no time to comfort Asaha. In the process of meeting with the others, they are attacked by many robots, and Gachi-man, who once fought with Monfa, also appears. Although girls have a lot of power, there are a lot fewer of them than robots, and these robots have been enhanced. The girls gradually fall into disadvantage, and even the rabbit is destroyed by robots. Fortunately, Asahi and the girls find the passage left by AI in time. After Asahi and Monfi manage to open the door of the passage, the others rush in. The passage door can't be closed from the inside, and Monfa decides to stay and fight the robots alone, and let Ah go. Monfa says of Saha that when he fought Gachi-man to protect her, she awakened some of Ai's memories. Many years ago, Asahi risked his life to save AI when she was being bullied by other children. Monfa realized that she was in love with Asahi. Now it's her turn to protect Asahi. Monfa kisses Asahi and pushes Asahi into the aisle before the door closes. Asahi doesn't have time to stop Monfa and grabs only one of her bandages. Monfa struggles to fight with these powerful robots. She recalls her experience with Asahi and feels very happy. Inside the gate, Asahi and the other girls see the Monf armband and scatter in the air and realize that it has disappeared. But they have no time to be sad, and they need to find the location of AI as soon as possible. They cross the aisle in front of them and reach the school they attended. Before everyone has time to study the situation nearby, they are attacked by a robot. Kane sees that Asahi is injured and quickly destroys the robot with magic and hides in the classroom with his comrades. The girls complain that Asahi shouldn't go too far because his injuries in the virtual reality world could endanger his real body. At this moment, new evidence discovered by Amelia breaks the silence. Using the tablet left by the rabbit, she searches for a passage next to Esaya on the roof. They go out on the roof and are surprised to see that the entire virtual world is close to destruction, and the passage they want to get into is surrounded by those robots. It seems that it is simply impossible to break into the passage with force. In this dilemma, Karin Irina is offered to act as bait to attract robot attacks and give Ah and Amelia enough time to enter the passage. Karin and Irina believe that only Asahi has a chance to stop Ah, and Amelia should show Asaya the way. After that, they take to the sky to fight the robots, despite the objections of Asahi and Amelia. Asahi knows that they don't have much time, and now is not the best time to argue. He tells Karin and Irina to follow him as soon as they finish the battle and leads Amelia into the aisle. Unbeknownst to Asahi, Karin and Irina destroy the switch at the entrance to the passage, because they don't want the robots to have a chance to catch up with Asahi and Amelia. The next place where Asahi and Amelia arrive is the library where Asahi helped Amelia. Amelia can't help but recall her experience of falling in love with Akai. At the most disappointing moment, she was comforted by Asahi's support. At that moment, Amelia learned what it means to truly love someone. At that time, Amelia recalled a similar experience as the memory of Bai was hiding in her mind. Amelia isn't the only one drowning in memories. Irina and Karin are involved in the struggle and at the same time think about awe in the most desperate moments. They use magic to convey their feelings to Asahi, and then rush at the robots to fight with their last strength. Asahi is in the library when he unexpectedly receives a message from Irina and Karin. Worried that they are in a hopeless situation, he exclaims sadly. But Asahi doesn't have much time to cry over them because the robots have surrounded the library. In a moment of despair, Amelia is unusually calm and ready to sacrifice herself to protect Asahi. She kisses Asahi goodbye and then opens a passage under Asahi's feet. Asahi shouts Amelia's name in amazement and falls into the aisle. Asahi worries about Amelia's safety when he meets Ai. Before he can say a word, Ai takes the initiative to explain everything. Ai awakened Ai's memory, and she went crazy under the influence of Akosei's strong love, so she struggled to keep Asahi by her side. Now she feels the death of the other 4 girls and regrets her irrational behavior. Ai gives up on the idea of possessing Asahi, and her only thought now is to make Asahi feel Ai's emotions because she is so sympathetic to Ai. Under the guidance of Ai and Asahi sees Ai's memory. Ai grew up with Asahi and has always been in love with him. Once, when they went shopping together, Ai took a fancy to an expensive necklace, but she couldn't buy it. Suddenly Asahi bought her a necklace as a gift. She suddenly felt very dizzy, but she didn't tell Asahi about it, so as not to worry him. As a result, when she returned home, she fainted and her father took her to the hospital. After the doctor's diagnosis, Ai was terminally ill and will not live long. Knowing this, Ai fell into despair. The following days were agonizing for Ai, who lived in fear of death every day. She was only happy when Asahi came to visit her. As her condition worsened, Ai became more and more exhausted. In order not to worry about Saha, she used makeup to hide her poor physical condition. However, her illness gradually became so serious that she could no longer hide it with cosmetics. Ai has reached the end of her life, and she has only one desire left: to see the cherry blossoms of Sasahi. Because they promised each other that they would get married under the cherry trees when they grew up. But she was already inseparable from the hospital bed, and her wish was not destined to come true. At the end of the memories of Sei, Ai was able to feel despair before his death, and he cannot calm down for a long time. Immediately, he learned about Tai that Ai's consciousness is still in the Vire world. With the help of A and Asahi, he hurriedly enters another passage to find the Ip. Asahi meets Ai, he excitedly hugs her saying and how much he misses her. However, the first thing Ai tells him is that she hopes that Ai will be able to forget her, because she does not want Asahi to plunge into painful memories. Asahi is adamant that he won't forget Ai. Asahi grew up with Sai, who is an integral part of his life, even if Ai cannot be near him in the future. He will live with the memories of her. Asahi becomes more and more emotional, and for the first time, he confesses his love for Ai. Touched by Asahi's words, Ai can no longer contain her suppressed emotions and cries, confessing that she also loves Asahi. Under Ai's control, Sakura appears next to them, under which they once made a promise, and Ai gently kisses Asahi. At this moment, countless pleasant memories associated with Asahi pop up in Ai's memory, and she feels very happy without any regrets. Ai thinks that only by leaving her, Asahi will be able to start a new life. After a gentle farewell, Ai gradually disappears into thin air, leaving Asahi only her necklace. Asahi calmly accepts Uhoda, and knowing that Ai will live in his memory forever no matter what. Eventually, Asahi returns to the real world with Ai's help. Since Ai is no longer out of control, the Institute stops the program that will destroy the world, and the world has returned to normal. Later, Feynman is appointed director of the Institute for helping Akai to prevent Ai from getting out of control during a disaster. She's still doing Ai research, and she's prepared some surprises for Asahi. By this time, Asahi had entered university and started a new life. When he receives 4 packages sent by Feynman, he is surprised to see that Amelia, Karin, Irina, and Monfa are there. It turns out Feynman managed to recover the 4 and the girls after the research and give them the bodies. The girls move into Asahi's house and start living with him. While everyone is enjoying the joy of reuniting, and also gets a body made for her by Feynman and comes to Asahi's doorstep.